What do you do when your spouse or partner is not on board with your homesteading dreams? This is something I hear people struggling with all the time. One spouse is all into the idea of homesteading and the other has big reservations or is very against the idea. Recently, I coached a member of the Homesteading for Beginners community through this very topic. I decided a podcast episode on this topic would be good for those dealing with the same thing. This is the Homesteading for Beginners podcast, and I'm Mona Weathers, your homesteading mentor and coach. If you desire to establish a solid foundation for your homesteading journey, then you are in the right place. I'm here to show you how, in a way that is healthy for you, your family, and your community. I'll share stories from the past 20 years of my own journey and offer you actionable steps you can take to start and maintain a healthy homestead. So my husband, Joe, and I have been homesteading for most of our marriage. We celebrated our 31 years of marriage this year, and 20 of those years we were homesteaders, 20 plus of those years. My husband did live a homesteading lifestyle way before it was called that because his parents always raised animals and had a garden. They were much older than him, so this was kind of their retired life to raise their little boy in this farm-type homesteading lifestyle. But I don't think my husband was really super eager to get back into the lifestyle as much as I was when we first met. It wasn't until we had our kids that we really started wanting our kids to have the childhood he had and the childhood I dreamed of. He has fond memories of the animals that they had, the 2.5 acres of land his parents owned, and the bike riding he did across those 2.5 acres and more because they were really in a rural area at the time. So he loved to explore and he has really fond memories of all that. Over the years, we have not agreed on a lot of things, but somehow we got good at working it out. And you have to, after being married for as long as we have. A lot of times, one spouse tends to be more reserved than the other. Joe is definitely more reserved when it comes to adding things like the animals and the homestead stuff than I am. And after 31 years of marriage, I've learned to be more reserved as well, and he's learned to be more open to things. And this has also enabled me to see his side more clearly and without judgment. I didn't poll any of my audience, but I imagine some of the objections from the spouse that is not into the idea of homesteading might be concerned with these things. Let me list them. So I have 6. They might be concerned with the cost of starting a homestead. They might be giving up modern conveniences might be a concern. Fitting in as a homesteader might be a concern. Their kids will be deprived and sheltered. Family and friends will judge their lifestyle. Added work to their already busy life. So those are the 6 things that I kind of came up with as I was thinking through this that might be some objections to homesteading. And if any of these objections resonate with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. So you can send me a direct message on Instagram at farmer_Mona. And if I didn't list an objection your spouse or you might have, please tell me that too. I'd love to hear it. So this is going to be a 2-part series. I'll go through these 3 objections, the first 3 objections, and then I will go through the other 3 next episode, and hopefully help both spouses or partners see both sides of the coin and offer some ideas on how to move forward. I'll start by saying, though, if this topic is a hot topic in your home and it creates a lot of tension, and you are ready to end your relationship because of it, because you can't agree on it, please go get counseling, get more deeper with your counselor, that you can have with both you and your spouse. Okay, so objection 1 is the cost of homesteading may be a concern for one of the spouses. So, especially if you have to make drastic changes to your lifestyle. If you're going from a 2-income family to a single income family, there are some sacrifices you both need to be willing to make. So there are also like homesteading ongoing expenses that you need to factor in as well. So if your spouse is concerned with these things, don't shrug it off. Validate their concerns and get a plan together. And do your research and find out how much it will really cost to do the things that you're dreaming of. Things don't just magically come together, and your spouse feels that and needs some reassurance. You have done your research and have started the planning process, but you'll also include them in it. I think one of the things that tends to happen is the one spouse that is super into things, like this would happen to me, where I was super into things. I wouldn't bring my husband, I wouldn't bring Joe along in my thought process and how it was changing. And it was changing pretty quick. It might change pretty quickly because I'm learning really fast about what I want, but I'm not taking my spouse along. A way to do that might be to, offer some a podcast for them to listen to on their drive to work, or of course you can have my podcast, but there's many homesteading podcasts out there that are very useful, and they'll get them up to speed with what it is that you're dreaming of for your life and your family. Objection 2 was giving up modern conveniences. Homesteading can literally be whatever you want it to be. I think many people envision homesteaders living in very rural settings, but that's not how many people are doing their homesteading. That's not how many people are in closer areas to the city, like me and our homestead now. And we really weren't that super far from the small city in our old homestead in California, but the reason a lot of people go out to very rural areas is that it's more affordable. So if your spouse wants to be close to like a grocery store and a movie theaters and hospitals, then that's a perfectly reasonable desire. Homesteading is a lifestyle. We don't have to live out in the boonies unless that is our desire. And I think it should be a desire for both parties, not just one. Or at least the spouse that is giving up their wishes knows what they're giving up and why they're doing it. If it's, we often do things for our family because we know it's better for them. So if that's the reason why, that's your why, just know that is it. And so that when times get hard, you have that reason to help you continue on your journey. The other types of modern conveniences like dishwashers and laundry dryers and Instapots, those types of things are totally preference. And if anyone makes you feel like you're not a homesteader for having those things, then well, you know what, send them to me, because I will have to have a talk with them, because we don't have to live without modern conveniences. Objection 3 is fitting in as a homesteader. I have heard people say, I don't feel welcomed as a homesteader because I don't look like them, do the same things as they do, or believe what they believe. And that actually blows my mind, honestly, because I've never seen homesteaders as one type of person. Maybe it's because I'm used to being different. I have generally never fit in a norm, and my parents always taught me to embrace my uniqueness and my passions. So remember, homesteading is a lifestyle. Most of us are choosing this lifestyle based on how we want to live our lives and raise the next generation. So saying a homesteader looks like, fill in the blank, is like saying pilots should look like Tom Cruise, Top Gun Maverick character, like all pilots must have a green jacket and all the patches on it, and on their off time ride motorcycles. Like all pilots out there are not doing the piloting thing and they're just faking it if they don't look like Tom Cruise or the Maverick character. I'm not a pilot, so that's as far as I can go. But that sounds absurd, I know, but I think you get what I mean. There is no look to homesteading. Homesteading is about building a set of skills to help you be more self-sufficient and sustainable for the health of and well-being of you, your family, and your community. So if you are the spouse with reservations about homesteading because you feel you don't fit the mold, break free from that thought process. That is not serving you, and homestead the way that you want to. Okay, that is part 1 of this series, and I will be going over the next 3 objections, which is the kids will be deprived and sheltered, family and friends will judge their lifestyle, and added work to their already busy life. Those are the next 3 objections. But before I go, I want to share and get you excited about something I have coming in 2023. I talked a little bit about it in episode 19, but today I want to share that I have another free resource coming. In episode 13, titled How to Avoid Becoming a Broke Homesteader, I shared 3 income streams you should have to set your homesteading journey up for longevity. The resource coming will be a list of different income ideas categorized into those 3 income streams, which is on homestead income, off homestead income, and online income. And I'll give you, it'll be good. It'll be good. So it's not ready yet, but today you have the opportunity to get on the wait list for the free resource. So I didn't want you to have to wait or possibly miss this announcement later on. So go to healthyhomesteading.com/homestead income. I've also created a new Instagram account called @homestead income. So if you want to go there and follow, then I know that then I'll get an idea of how interested people are in this. So you can go there to Instagram and go to @homestead income. If you are enjoying this podcast, I would really appreciate it if you would take a minute to subscribe or follow. By doing this, you will be helping the podcast to be seen by more people, and I do love reading nice reviews too. Don't forget to visit healthyhomesteading.com for more information on how I can serve you. Until next week, I want you to keep dreaming, keep believing, and keep planning for your homesteading success.